Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to have you. I would love if you could turn on all your cameras so I could see your beautiful, shining faces. Um, you know, with wellness, guys, it's really important that we can connect face to face in this virtual world, right? We get really wrapped up in it. And a lot of imposter syndrome has to do with us hiding behind screens, hiding behind technology. And with the interview process, as you guys know, you're going to have to turn on your screen, show up for yourself, and we're going to talk all about that today. Okay, so I want to say hi to each one of you and thank you for coming. So hi Akira, hi Ted, hi Rahul, hi Tony, Jeremy, Busra, Ty, and Jason. So excited to have all of you. And I will give you a couple minutes to get your videos on. I know sometimes you're like in the middle of the kitchen or in the middle of the bathroom. So I will give everyone a minute or two just to turn on your video so we can get started. No problem, Busra. That's totally fine. Everyone else. It's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind a lot going on in your background, Ty. Guys, is this the attitude in interviews? Come on, let's go. All right. If your camera's not working, we have a lot of work to do in terms of, we just need to get your cameras up. I thought you guys were all tech people, you know? Okay, so just to give you guys a little bit of an intro, Tony, I'm believing in you. I know you can do it. I can figure out a way to turn on that video. If you have to rejoin, definitely do. I will accept you back into the meeting. I'm Mira from the Mira Method. I'm getting a call, sorry. I'm Mira from the Mira Method. Basically, I'm a health and wellness expert, but more than that, which will be super important for all of you, is I also went to a boot camp and I got a job as a UX designer right out of it, and I was a UX designer for 4 years. I then transitioned my career to becoming a CEO of a health and wellness company. I also do career coaching for many companies to help people like you. So today's topic is going to be about imposter syndrome and how to tackle it. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. Alrighty, can you guys see the presentation? Awesome. So today we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome, right? Like, it's the idea that we don't believe that we deserve the success or the job or the thing that we really want. We don't deserve it. And it's really gets into our being when we're applying for jobs. I know all of you are at the point where you've graduated your boot camps and you're ready to find jobs. And I know a lot of that creeps in when you're trying to look for a job and it gets really scary and terrifying of, am I enough? Was the boot camp enough? Is my education enough? Do I need to be doing more because it's a pandemic? There's a lot of those questions that tap into our minds. And, it can be really scary to be in a place like that. So I would love some shares of what you think imposter syndrome is. If you can just unmute your screen, totally casual, and just tell me what you think imposter syndrome is.
Hi, Akira here.
Hi, Akira.
Hi, what's up? So I mean, like, again, I don't know that there's like an actual hard definition, but how I experience it is I just got hired at like a new job a few months ago and I got like a promotion with like a ton of extra responsibility. And I'm like, oh my God, like I totally fooled them. Like, I'm gonna mess it up. And I'm like, it almost shows up as like self-sabotage, right?
Yeah.
Like putting things off until later and like procrastinating because it's just like this really uncomfortable, like physical feeling. It's weird how physical it is, right? But it's just like this sensation of like, oh my God, like they're gonna find me out. Like I'm such a fraud.
Yeah, thank you for putting that in the space, number one. And two, congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And um, so the second part of it is I totally understand, Akira. A lot of job hunting and job process feels like a fraud when we're getting promoted, when we're putting ourselves out there. It feels like, am I enough? And typically, what we don't realize is the person that they want in a role, in a job, in a certain position is a human. It's not someone who's a worker. So when a human connects to another human, that's enough for them to feel that they want to hire you and for them to get you promoted and to get all of the things that you want in your life. It's a lot less about kind of how much has Akira done in her career? How much has she put into her career? And it's a lot more about your being and the person that you bring to the table. So congrats on that. And I totally understand how you feel. Anyone else want to share about how they feel about imposter syndrome in their daily life?
I feel like personally for me, fraud was a really good word used by Akira. I think definitely in my previous jobs, and even sometimes, and even in my current role right now, I do feel like the expectations that a role has, and then it's like you kind of like finessed your way into that role, and you feel like, okay, like I put up a front, and now it's like I have to do all these things that I feel like I cannot, like, you can perform them and you can do them, but you feel like everyone else knows what they're doing, but you don't know what you're doing exactly, and you're just trying to like hack it out as you go. And so because you're doing so much running or catching up, it feels like, oh, how come I'm the only one that isn't doing their job not properly, but kind of like you have this perspective, which obviously is not accurate, that everyone knows exactly what they're doing and they're doing their best and they're go, 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 go. And you're just trying to like lost in the abyss in a sense. And because you feel like, oh man, everyone knows what they're doing, but I'm a fraud. I don't deserve this role or this like level of responsibility, essentially.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. Um, you know, that is that is something I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. So thank you for normalizing that. There are so many people in roles like that we think we have to be a certain way, or we think we have to be perfect, or we think we have to know everything before even doing the job. Show of hands or even in the chat, like how many times have you done a job and then learned on the job more than studying before the job? So yes, just write yes if you agree with that, or no if you don't, right? Like we get on the job and we learn so much more than when we studied for the 4 years of undergrad or the 10 weeks of boot camp I'm seeing a lot of yeses, and yeah, totally true, right guys? Like I'm a CEO and founder, and I've only been doing this for a little less than a year. I still have no clue what I'm doing. So it's just like about the idea of just feeling like, you deserve it. And when you feel like you deserve it, then you can own it. That's where the owning comes in. So, thank you guys for putting that in the chat. I saw someone else put it in the chat. I think Ty, feeling like I don't have a skill set to be considered for a certain position. Yeah, like I think imposter syndrome, Ty, this is my next slide of how it shows up. It sometimes shows up as I'm not enough, right? So I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough skills. I don't have enough X, whatever it is. I don't have enough personality. It could be anything. The second thing, it could be that you need more experience. You're saying you're always looking for those new let me know if one of you guys are the people that always does more of those certifications, always going to school, always the student, just like boot camp on boot camp on boot camp. There's those people. And there's also comparing to others, right? When we see like a friend of ours who maybe was in a boot camp with us or is a coworker of ours, they get promoted and we don't. Or they after the boot camp, a month later they get a job and we're still looking for a job. Like there are so many moments like that there where fear ends up taking over, and action is like starts dwindling. So one thing I want to tell you guys about is the biggest difference between successful and unsuccessful people is that one thinks about what they want and the other takes action to get what they want. So think about it this way. When we sit here thinking, dwelling, stressing, freaking out about everything that we don't have, think about how much action is actually coming from that. What do you guys think? 0? Less than 0? Negative? Where are we at? Anyone? 0. Yes, exactly. When we're thinking and we're dwelling, there's actually nothing that's happening, right? We're just sitting there. And when you take action, even if it's small, right? Even if it's like, today I'm going to reach out to someone on LinkedIn. Today I'm going to email my manager and tell him I want to do a one-on-one with him, and I will start to mention that I kind of want a promotion. Like, it's the little steps. And when you take many, many steps, you get somewhere and you do something. And that's the only difference, guys. It's you either take action or you don't. And that's the only difference between success and not being successful. So my advice to you all is stop thinking, don't do the Google research analysis. I mean, we're all techie people, so I'm sure all of us Google all the crap out of everything. So I would say stop the Googling, stop the researching, just go for it, because doing will get you so much more than thinking. So now that was pretty much my presentation. I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to do a bunch of fun stuff now. So the first part of this thing is going to be a little bit of like stretching and yoga. So if you guys could turn on your screen for this or your video, it would be super helpful, because otherwise I'm going to be doing yoga to myself, which is kind of awkward. So alrighty. So if you guys can all get up from your seat, get up, get moving. I want to see all your pretty faces moving and hopping. Alrighty, so we're going to start with some shoulder rolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I want you to move your neck to the right and hold it for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I want you to just stretch your arms up to the sky as far as you can go. And stretch back. And then touch your toes. And hold as much as you can. If you can't touch your toes, try to get to, you can keep your hands to your knees. And then I want you to rise up. And then release and go down. Hi, Tony. Awesome. So now I want you guys to find a comfortable place where you can sit. And I want you to get like a piece of paper and a pen out, because we're going to do some journaling exercises. Okay, so I want you to write the journaling exercises if you can. So find a comfortable spot in your home to sit or wherever you are to get into the breathing. Alrighty, guys. So let me put on some relaxing music for all of us. So the next part of this is I'm going to lead us in some deep breathing exercises so all of us can bring our energy back to our bodies and get to a releasing state, and then we'll do some fun journaling exercises, okay? So give me a second. And can you guys hear the music? So the breathing exercise we're going to do today is going to be called 4-7-8. And it's where you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it at the top for 7, and then you release for 8. And the idea is because we're breathing out for a longer period of time, you're releasing more of that negative energy and more of that, toxins that have been living and stress that has been living in your body for a long time. So what I want you guys to do whenever you're ready, you can close your eyes, get present to the music, breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And release for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want you guys to do this on your own now for 3 more times. Breathe in, hold, and release the negative energy, the toxins, the stress, and the fear that you've been holding on to. Breathe in. Get present to the sound, your breath, your body, your stomach going in and out, the breath going through you, all the way up and out. Breathe in one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. And release. Stay in the space however long you want, and whenever you're ready, slowly bring your awareness back and open your eyes. Alrighty, I would love to hear in the chat how you guys are feeling now. Just tell me any words, if you're feeling relaxed, if you're feeling present, anything you're feeling. Calmed, yes, awesome. less tense. Amazing. Relaxed, Akira. Awesome. So glad you're feeling relaxed. So guys, this next part is really fun and probably the most effective part to actually release the imposter syndrome through wellness, which I'm really excited about. So if you have a journal and a pen, we're going to start into the journaling exercises. And the first question I have for you guys is, what are your strengths? And I want you to write down the things that you feel like you can do really easily, you're really good at. You know that these things are things that you're just like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm proud of this. I'm happy about this. I know that no matter what, I got this. What are those things for you? What are your strengths? Take your time. We'll go through each question one at a time. I want you guys to give yourself at least 1 minute with each question so that you can really dive deep into your strengths. The next question is, what are your weaknesses? Where are areas where you just feel like, man, I wish I could fix this, or I wish I was better at this thing? What are those things for you? Where do you think you fall short? And I want you guys to think about weaknesses and strengths, not just as things that are doing and achieving in the career world, because I know we're all career focused. Think about strengths and weaknesses even in terms of communication. Are you good at making friends? Are you like the funniest person in the room? Are you really good at singing or playing the guitar? Or just like intuitively knowing when something's wrong with someone? Right? Like there's so many things that we don't think about when it comes to strengths. We think like, oh, we're good at Excel or we're good at Python. We don't always think about what are we good at just in general. So the next question is, I want you to write all the things that you're the most proud of in your life. What are some achievements or things that make you so proud of yourself and you're like, yes, I did this and I'm so proud of myself and it just makes me feel so great? What are those things for you? And again, guys, I really want you to think about, yes, career achievements, big achievements. I also want you to think about achievements like maybe you and your husband you know, did long distance for 5 years, and that was really tough, and you're really proud of what happened when you came out of that, or the kind of father you became when you had a newborn, or the kind of friend you were when someone was struggling. I would love for you guys to share some moments in the chat that you're really proud of. Whenever you're done. No rush. Now I want you to think about what are some of the failures that you still hold on to? And this is an important question, guys, because sometimes when we think about failures, like maybe there was that one internship you really freaking wanted, but then you didn't end up getting it, and it really stings even now. Or maybe you like cheated on a test like back in high school, and it's still something that bugs you. I want you to think about like not just failures, but stories and things that you still hold on to now, and make a list of what those things are that are still living and breathing inside you, even if they're from years ago. Alrighty, so after, if you, do you guys need some more time with the failures? Okay, so now I want you guys to think about, out of the failures and the things that you're still holding on to, what was in your control and what were the things that were out of your control? So sometimes when we didn't get an internship, everything that was in our control, we did right. We prepared, we did the case studies, we did everything, but just not getting the job, and the job decision was out of our control. So I want you to think about your failures and the things that were in your control first, and then I want you to think about what was out of your control. Really think about the things that are out of your control. Like the pandemic isn't something you controlled, even though a lot of us think that it is. Think about like There are so many things in this world that we can't control, and we didn't control the result of. And think about what was in your control. Did you really not want that internship, and were you not actually excited about it, and were you just doing what someone else told you to do? And so you were aiming for something you didn't really want? What else was in your control? Whenever we think about what was in our control, we always think about the work that we're putting in. But I also want you to think about the intention that you had and the integrity that you had at that time. Were your thoughts and your actions aligning? If you really wanted something, you didn't go for it, or if you really didn't want something, you went for it anyway. Now I want you to think about, how do these failures and these things that we were talking about still hold you back now? What do you think these things hold you back from being, from doing, from creating in this world, from achieving? How are you yourself holding yourself back? What are you putting in the way? What obstacle are you putting in front of you to not have the life of your dreams? Are you putting fear of failure in the space? Are you constantly hearing yourself saying, I'm not enough, I'm not smart enough, I need to get this certification, I need to get that certification? Are you constantly, whenever you achieve anything, you just never acknowledge yourself, and you're never like, yeah, hell yeah, I did this. But you're just like, now on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. My last question for you guys, and take your time, I know a lot of you are in the other one, is about worthiness. So when we talk about what makes us worthy as human beings, the first place we go is how much we've achieved. Oh, I helped this company make 50% more profit. I helped my friend with their wedding. I ran a marathon. I want you to write a list of what makes you worthy, what makes you Akira, Jeremy, all of you guys, Tony, what makes you guys worthy? If you couldn't answer with any results or achievements or goals that you accomplished, what do you think you bring into this world that has nothing to do with any of those things? Do you bring joy? Do you bring compassion? Do you bring understanding? Do you bring leadership? Do you bring sparkle and excitement? What do you think makes you worthy if it has nothing to do with results, achievements, or goals? And I would love if you guys could share 2 or 3 of those words. Those words, guys, those are your essence words. And what your essence words are is basically your true being. It's the true you. Without all the fears, without all the terrifying energy, without all the dust, that's you. So I'll share with you guys my 3 words of what makes me worthy. So Tony, I hear support and positivity. I love that. Guys, I want you to think about if you were literally like in a forest and you were just walking and you didn't have to achieve anything. You didn't have to create a report for work. You didn't have to send out that email or that text. You were literally just living and breathing in a forest and nothing to do. What would you bring into this universe? What are you bringing into this universe by just existing? Akira, strength, protection, insight, and excitement. I love that so much. I would add sparkle to yours because you exude some sparkle. We can say both. Of course. Ted Francis, passion, commitment, cheer. Ooh, I love cheer. When you say cheer, Ted, do you mean you cheer other people on, or do you mean you're just like a cheerful person?
Kind of like both, like supporting friends and family, but also like trying to find the best in every situation.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm waiting for a couple more of you guys. Jennifer, compassion, warmth, and fun. Yes. Who else feels warmth from Jennifer? I can like just feel it in the space just from like her being here. She's just like warm all over the place, warm and cuddly. Yes, I so agree with that. Isn't it crazy that like um it's crazy that we can see these things in other people even though I've never met any of you guys, but you can just see them. That's why I love looking at your faces. It really brings that energy. So the next time I do this workshop, I would love to see your guys' faces. Aw, Ty, it was great having you and great having your insights. No problem. Thank you so much. All right, anyone else to share? Enthusiasm and curiosity. Yes. Ashley, tell me more about what that means for you.
Well, I guess I just always keep, like, I'm always excited to learn new things or to hear about what other people are doing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
or even something new I've learned, I'm like, oh, look at this cool thing. So I think that's what I bring.
That's awesome. I love that. Curious energy is so great because we can keep learning and growing. Curious people are also the type of people when their survival mechanism is playing a game with them, tells them to go study more and more and more. Does that happen to you a lot? Where it's like, I got to learn this new thing and this new thing and that new thing.
I feel like I have a list of stuff, but I don't know.
Totally. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing. So now we're basically going to dive into the meditation, which is going to be like a small meditation. And before that, I would love to hear from you guys from the speaking. I'm just going to pick on each of you just to ask you what you got out of that journaling exercise and how you feel now. So, Fan S, could you share what you got out of the journaling exercise and, how you feel now?
I guess like what was really helpful was hearing other people talk about their worthiness qualities, because I think when I was like thinking about it, it was really hard for me to come up with something. But then when they like were listing things out loud, there were like some of them that like resonated with me, and I was like, oh, like I didn't realize that that
Yeah.
this was a lot. So that was helpful.
What are your words?
So for me, I put down compassion, support, and curiosity.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Jeremy, what did you get out of, journaling about your failures and what holds you back? What are some realizations that you've had now? You can like unmute, Jeremy, or should I? What? All right, I guess he cannot hear me or something. Ashley, what did you get out of doing the journal exercise and writing about your failures and what holds you back?
Oh, I did arrive a bit late, so I didn't get the first part, but it did got me thinking a lot about knowing that a lot of value is placed on my achievements. I guess I realized I never was really asked about who I was or how I was doing a lot when I was growing up. So I think that's knowing that that's something to work on.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ashley.
Yeah.
Guys, yeah, there's so many times where there's other people that aren't asking us, but forget that, we're not even asking ourselves, hey, Ashley, how are you doing? Let's check in for a second. How are you feeling we're always go, 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 and we don't even take a moment to say, how are you feeling? How are you doing? So thank you so much for that. Akira, can you share kind of what you got out of the journaling exercise?
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I think for me, like just reminding myself of like my natural strengths, like especially like being someone who's like got a lot of protective and like insightful energy going on, actually was like kind of inspired to like just send a quick pulse check to like a volunteer group that I lead. like just like, hey, like how you guys doing? Like,
So
you
cute.
guys all alive? You know, we have like a lot of stuff coming up in the new year, and I was like, you know what? I'm really good at like realizing that we've been way too task oriented and none of us are like connecting, which is like why a lot of people volunteer anyway. So yeah, I just actually just shot that off and we'll see what happens. So it was good just to get kind of like rooted again and like what I'm naturally really good at aside from like, oh, I'm like awesome at JavaScript built-in methods or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
isn't it cool how present we get to like what really matters? Like what really matters to you and how that can make such a big difference. Like that's such a beautiful way, Akira, to practice by like checking in with your team and making sure how they're feeling. Like, wow.
Thanks, man.
Um, beautiful, beautiful work.
Thanks.
Tony, I would love to hear what you got out of the journaling exercise.
Yeah, sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I got my camera working.
I can see that.
I had to restart my laptop.
I'm so glad you turned it on. I really acknowledge you for doing that. You're awesome.
Yeah, see, I tried. Yeah, so this exercise actually it opened my eyes a little bit because like lately, I joined this talk because, I've been so caught up in like life lately and, taking care of my kids and, just trying to code every day and like looking for a job every day. And imposter syndrome like just kicks in hard some days because it's like, oh, am I good enough at coding? Or my project's good enough? My portfolio's good enough? Am I talking to enough people? And it gets rough, and I just forgot that, and by with this coding exercise, or well, with this exercise, it just helped me remember like what I brought to the table and like why I switched careers. Not just like, oh, get a job and start coding right away, but it's because I like to do this stuff, and I like to think I'm good at it, but it just yeah, it helps to like reflect like why I'm doing this and like why I'm here and why I'm in the position that I'm in right now.
Wow, Jeremy. Oh my God. Or not Jeremy, sorry. Tony, that was amazing. Yes, I loved that so much. I think like first of all, thanks for being so honest with this group. Like, damn. Like acknowledge your vulnerability times 500. But yeah, like sometimes we get so in the like realm of what's out of our control, what's in our control. And what I love doing, like why I love doing that is because we can get really present to like sometimes whether a job reaches out to you or not isn't in your control actually. The only thing that is in your control is applying or showing up for yourself. Like whether that sometimes guys showing up doesn't just mean applying to jobs. Sometimes showing up means showing up for your kids or showing up by making like a green smoothie and working out, right? Like showing up takes the form of many different things. And sometimes we forget that when we're in this like holy fuck, I really need a job kind of mode, right? Like I need to
Yeah.
get a job because like we're struggling and I need it and I get that. But like, wow, your being really showed up there, Tony, and I'm sure you're going to get an awesome job just because of how incredible of a person you are. Thank you so much for sharing.
Hopefully. Thank you.
I can't see the name of the person with the red shirt, and I'm so sorry I'm doing this. It's terrible. Why can't I see the name? Oh, Ted. There we go. Ted. So sorry. Okay. Ted, I would love to know what you got out of the journaling exercise.
I think it was really nice to look back at like things that I'm proud of. It's really easy right now to get caught up in a lot of the negatives, like with the COVID going on, trying to find a job. Like towards the end of the year, a lot of companies are just kind of tightening things up. To look back and being able to be like, oh, I did this and I'm proud of that is it's very endearing and like heartwarming to think about the things that like you don't really focus on right now because you're so kind of tunnel visioned on everything else negative that's going on around. So it was nice to step away and look at that different positive perspective on all the accomplishments that I have made, rather than, fretting on all the negatives that I'm stuck in right now. So
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad that you were able to look into your strengths and the things that you're proud of and the happy moments. Um, right? We always focus on like the one bad thing, even though there's like 100 great things. So that's so awesome. I don't know what your words are, Ted, for like your being words and your essence words, but I feel like one of them is warmth. I felt so warm, like with you being on the call. There's like the warm and cuddliness, the same thing that Jennifer has.
yeah,
So,
mine was the cheer.
oh, the cheer. Yeah,
So
totally. I can totally see that. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. My heart is filled with all of your amazing shares, and that was beautiful. The last part of this is just going to be going into a meditation. And before I go into that, I just wanted to share about myself really quick. I'm Mira. I have an Instagram page called The Mira Method. I would love for you guys to follow my page. I share a bunch of health, wellness, and lifestyle tips on there. I'm a health and wellness expert, and I love bringing in holistic health and bringing like us rooted back to who we are. Like that's really what I believe in. Um, and I'm actually having my first wellness retreat this January 3rd on Sunday from 9 a.m. EST to 6 p.m. EST, where it's going to be a full day of where we basically dive into who you are as a human and just like really unleash some of these stories and some of these things that have been holding us back for life. It'll start with yoga. Then we'll be releasing all the negative energy out into the space, out of you. I'm going to be having a live cooking demo where we teach you how to make nutritious food efficiently. So like a 30-minute cooking session, building like 3 different meals, which is super cool for all of us who work and hustle a lot. And then a new year workshop where we'll wrap up 2020, talk about 2021. We'll do a physical and mental detoxing, disconnecting from technology, and then finally ending with a meditation. So I would love to have you guys there, love to have you guys at the retreat. I think you guys would love it. I'm targeting young professionals just like you. Of course, Akira, I'm so glad you were here too. So nice to meet you. I'll put the link, or I'll send the link to Jennifer so that she can like send out the wellness retreat link if any of you guys want to come. Would love to have you. And that is everything. So with that, we're going to go into the meditation. We'll do a really quick one. And you guys can do this in whatever way you want to. If you want to do it sitting, that's fine. Or if you want to lay down, that's fine too. I'm good with anything. So to start this meditation, I would love for you guys to close your eyes whenever you're ready. I want you to just get present to your breath. So breathing in and out, what that feels like in your body. Maybe you're breathing in more, breathing in deeper, sinking in. I want you to get present to everything that's touching the ground, your toes, your feet, your legs, your seat. I want you to try to get connected to the earth and to the ground as much as you can. When our days are filled with so much activity and stress and anxiety and movement, it's always a great thing to take a moment to relax, ground yourself, and check in on how you're doing. I want you to check in on how you're doing. If you feel any tension, if you're worrying about something, I want you to think about it as a passing cloud. Notice it, acknowledge it, and then let it pass away just like clouds do. And just be present to you and how you feel now. You might feel a little lighter. You might feel like you're sinking in deeper. I want you to imagine that you're at a beach. The blue water, the sand in your toes. And I want you to think about what you can see. Can you see the blue of the water, the waves crashing, the sand and the little grains of the sand? Now I want you to think about what can you hear? Can you hear the whooshing of the waves? The sounds of the wind? People talking? The sounds of someone swimming or splashing? What can you hear? I want you to think about what you can touch. Can you touch the coolness of the water, how freezing it is? How nice it feels to put your toes in the hot and warm sand. Really rub your toes in the sand and feel the warmth. Imagine yourself swimming in the ocean and feeling the coolness of the wave in your whole body. What can you touch? And the last thing I want you to think about is what can you smell? Can you smell the fresh, oxygenated air? The smell of the salty, clean ocean? The smell of the sea? Just like this, I want you to remember that any moment in the day, you can get present and transform yourself to any place you want to go and truly be relaxed and calm and peaceful. I want you to take an audit of how you feel now versus how you felt when you first came into the session. Do you feel more calm, grounded, relaxed, refreshed? Always know that you have the access to that point and you can use that whenever you want to, just by taking one breath. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. That is everything for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I had such a great time getting to know you. Please follow me on Instagram so I can chat with you and talk to you more, connect with you. I love connecting with new people. You guys are all amazing. Have an incredible day, and I will hopefully talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.